Hello everybody, it's Mrs. Bright back again with another RE lesson for you. And if you remember from last week, we were learning about Hinduism this term. So if I can just find my flip chart, we can make a start. Okay, hopefully you can see that now. So last week we started to learn about Hinduism, didn't we? And we started to learn about the Hindu belief in one god called Brahman, but that god has many different forms. If you remember, I showed you lots of pictures and I said all these pictures represent God for Hindus. We thought about how they could have one God that could be represented in so many different ways. And last week we focused particularly on the three main functions of their God. So that was called the Trimurti. So I wonder if you could pause the video now and see if you can remember using my mind map as a prompt. Could you remember the names of the three functions of those three gods of the Trimurti? Okay, let's see how you got on. So did you remember about Brahma, the creator, so the one who created the world and everything in it? And Vishnu, who was the preserver. So we talked about how Vishnu preserves and looks after the world. And Shiva, who was the destroyer. And we discussed how destroying things might be a way of making way for some good things to be born, so bringing life in the world. Now today we're going to look a bit more about how Hindus actually worship their gods, and also about just a few of the many different gods which Hindus worship. So I've got a video for you. Let me just stop sharing and then share the video. The video shows some Hindu children, and it shows you a bit more about the way that they worship and a few of the different gods that they worship in their place of worship. So let's see, hopefully the video will work. Okay, so hopefully that gave you a better idea of how Hindus actually worship those gods, and it also introduced you, didn't it, to a couple of the particular gods that they focus on. So go back to my flip chart. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take you through a little selection of those gods and just read you the information about them. And then after that, I'm going to ask you to make a fact file about a couple of them. So first of all, we've got Ganesh. Now Ganesh is the elephant-headed god and the lord of all living things. He is the god who helps people overcome their problems by granting them wisdom and strength. It is said that the god Shiva cut off his original head and restored him to life by giving him the head of an elephant. Next is Krishna. He is often seen with blue skin playing the flute and wearing peacock feathers on his head. He is the god of love and devotion and the most worshipped. Krishna is strong, young, handsome, and mischievous. Saraswathi is the wife of Brahma. I don't know if you knew about the Hindu gods and goddesses sometimes being married to each other in their myths that they tell about them. So she's the goddess of learning and wisdom. Saraswathi plays the lute. Indra is the ruler of the heavens, thunder, and rain. Indra is very fast and a superb warrior. Garuda is a messenger from God and a god of the birds. He has the wings of an eagle and a human body. Garuda has the ability to carry people to safety. Now, Hanuman you might recognize from the story of Rama and Sita that we learned about in term 1, and when we learned about Diwali. Hanuman is the monkey god, and if you remember, he commanded an army to help Rama's fight against the demon Ravana so that he could rescue his wife Sita. This is Shakti. She's the mother goddess, the source of all energy, power, and creativity in the universe. She represents nature and can be nurturing as well as dangerous. And finally, I wanted to show you Surya, the sun god. He's depicted as a warrior on a chariot pulled by 7 white horses. And Surya is thought to be capable of healing the sick and dispelling darkness by illuminating the world. So, as I said before, your task for today is very simple. I'd just like you to go back through the video and just pick 2 of the gods or goddesses that you found the most interesting or that stood out to you the most. And I'd like you to just make a simple fact file about each one. So that could just be a bit like this example, just a picture of them at the top, their name, and then I've just put some bullet points just showing the key facts about that god or goddess. And then if you would like an extra challenge, then for gold task, it would be great if you could think about, a bit like we learned about in the video, what the god or goddess represents to Hindus. And so why would that Hindu choose to pray or worship that particular god or goddess? So for example, Krishna is the god of love and devotion. So I wondered if a Hindu might worship or pray to this god if they wanted to pray for someone they love, or maybe if they're feeling unloved. So have a little bit of a think about reasons why they might pray to that god. If you'd like to have a go at gold task, that would be great. Right, we've come to the end of our lesson, so I hope you get on okay with your fact files. I hope you've enjoyed learning about all those different Hindu gods and goddesses, and I will see you next time.